This technique suits me very well to work in bronze because, it's integral to my work to have a lot of space, to open up the spaces, to play with the solidity and the weight of something, especially a material that's as heavy as bronze, to play with that weight and make it feel more ethereal and light and shining from its own side. I put a lot of intention into my work when I'm making it. That's one of the reasons why I love to make things by hand and why I love that there's a process with sculpture, because it is a meditative process. When I was living in Kathmandu, I had a lot of friends coming over to visit in Kathmandu. I was studying Tibetan Buddhism, I was studying Tibetan language, and I found that a lot of people who were attracted towards meditation weren't really turned on by the culture that it came out of. They liked the essence of meditation, but when they saw kind of the tankas or these sort of tantric images, they felt they were very foreign. And so what I became interested in was to create an art that was coming out of what I was receiving from those philosophies, from that culture. But that could be interpreted on a very much more an intuitive level. These four that we have in front of me, they were like my base idea, basically, that the first figure is us as we are, like feeling like discrete, cut-off cells, and then slowly through this practice of the sitting, it's kind of breaking holes in the certainty of the concepts that we have around life and letting more and more and more of that go. The work, I think, is my language of understanding my own spiritual path. And so in many ways they're very personal to me because they've marked my progression, if you like. A progression, I wouldn't necessarily say that the earlier ones are a lower philosophy and the later ones are more profound or something like that. It's more like different aspects or different realizations as you go along of seeing the different aspects appearing, So this is what I was talking about with the sculptures that are made up of the little meditators. My dancer, this dynamic equilibrium in the corner there, is made up of sections of the meditators and sections of skin. The main focus of a lot of my work is in the heart. And so if it can bring people down into their heart a little bit and into that kind of, into their bodies and into that heart energy, and to have the feeling just, at least while they're standing in front of it, that they're radiating a little bit from that place and not always up in their heads, which we are too much in our modern society. As much as I see negativity being ramped up, I do believe that, like in that sense of the yin always balancing with the yang, I do believe that there's equal and opposite amounts of positivity, and the more negativity you see, the more affirmation it is actually that there's very, very positive stuff going on in the world as well. Unity and being altruistic and compassionate to each other, I think that's the best model for the survival of society, and I think that is actually our nature. I'm really happy to be a part of that wave of culture that is providing some encouragement to other people who feel the same way, that there is, qualities in the human nature that, if we can all come together and actually mirror that in each other and reinforce those positive qualities, that we don't need to be sucked under by the deafening noise of the shallow media over the top, So that's, when I say my sculptures are like little ambassadors that I send out, that's very much my feeling, that if we can get these images, and images like you see in certain visionary art and images of transcendence and of another possibility, if we can get them out into the public subconscious, as it were, and actually start planting these things rather than planting all of the negative, all the negative images that people receive every day, that can make a shift. I do feel like this work is purposeful in that respect, and that is speaking to something that's a deeper and truer nature.